Yeah, we talked about it as a team today. For the younger guys that maybe didn't know the impact he had on the game, we made sure that was communicated. Obviously, a Denver sports legend, and for somebody that, like me, that grew up around this league and saw the innovation of offense that he brought to the NBA, I think he doesn't get enough credit for the wide open freestyle that we play now. I believe he 5 straight years #1 scoring team in the NBA. The Kiki and Alex, Fat and all these guys that played here, T.R. Dunn, and obviously Bill Hanslick. Such a cool generation, and for them to take it all the way to a series against the Lakers, it's one of the greatest teams of all time. Sometimes those teams get forgotten, but their impact on us as coaches and us as players, what the game's become today, is because of people like Coach Mo. So it's sad to hear his passing. Very lucky to be in a fraternity of people that can say that I got to do the same job as him. Just it's an honor to do it because of people like him that really did change the game.
Transitioning to the final third of the season now, as you reset, what goals do you have for this team?
Get healthy. And I think just, our defensively we got to be better. We know that. And I think that'll come with, the proper depth and guys getting more comfortable playing their normal minutes. That'll take some time here, but I just think we're going to continue to be us, which there's a lot of positives. We talked about that today our offense has been elite throughout the year. Our defense has been up and down. So if we can find a happy medium there, obviously we'll be a very dangerous team.
What can you try to find out just about the group defensively without pain? You guys had a small sample size at the beginning of the year, fully healthy for the defense. Not so much. Where you guys were at 15 a couple years ago, it's kind of the floor of what the championship team can be defensively. So what can you find out just as far as being prepared for injuries on the defensive side?
I think where we can be a lot better is, when we have to downsize, which is what we have to do right now, we have to bring 2 people to a dominant player. It's how we rotate behind it. Can we be better that way, more impactful to contest better on the second side, third side? Because currently we're in a lot of rotations, and it's just the way it is when you have to bring help. We can be better at that. And to your point, we talked about that today. Before all this stuff went on, we were 4th in defense in the NBA with an elite offense. We know it's there, and we can get back to that point. But to get there, in the meantime, we just got to be better just covering for one another. That's the bottom line. And there's been some nights where I've been really good, and we've flown around and it made it hard for people. And there's been nights where the energy hasn't been where it needs to be defensively. So, like I said, continue to do what we're doing offensively, share the ball. We're scoring at an elite rate, but we have to combine that with a better defensive effort.
I believe there's a roster deadline to have at least 14 on the roster by Thursday. Do you expect to add Spencer or somebody else to the roster?
Yeah, it's a conversation we're going to have when we land, in LA. It's just a lot of moving pieces there. Obviously, what Spencer's done for us this year has been beyond a small impact. The guy started, a million games for us. He's guarded some of the best players in the league. He's a big part of what we've done, and so we're trying to get that done in the sense of what's fair for both sides. And those conversations will be had in private. And then, yes, we're looking at names to possibly help us get through this time, both buyout market, possible 2 ways. And Ben and John are hard at work at that. We'll sit down and talk about it here in a couple hours.
How important do you feel like the break was mentally and physically?
For us? It looks like it was very impactful because the guys were great. Yesterday was just conditioning. Everybody looked good. Today, even though it's a short practice, detailed practice, going into a back-to-back, and then playing Sunday at 12:30, which is absolutely insane. These guys, they brought it. They look like they understand what the situation is, what our opportunity is. Guys look very refreshed.
Are you any more tired going into the break as a first-time head coach than you were annually as an assistant? Was it about the same for you?
It was the same, I'll be honest. It's one of those things in this business where whenever you stop doing it, you realize how unhealthy this all is. It really is. The first day you stop, your body starts telling you what's actually happening. So you need a break when you get to that point. Whether you're an assistant coach, player development, video, all these guys, players, front office, everyone's working their ass off. So everybody needs a break, and then everybody looks like they're ready to roll here for the last 27.
Hey, but I see Clayton getting shots up here. Were he and Aaron able to do anything in practice today?
Aaron did a little bit that was allowed. Peyton did not. And again, those guys are, it's one of those fluid situations. It's going to be day to day. I know I've said that all year. I'm sure it's annoying. It's just what it is. It's, some days they look like they could come back tomorrow, and other days it's like, no, there's still a week or 10 days or whatever they're saying away is. And I've said this before, and I mean it. Whoever suits up tomorrow is who we're going to coach and prepare. And as soon as those guys come back, obviously what they can bring to our team is immense, especially if we're going to be talking about the defensive end and what Aaron brings offensively with the mismatches, what Peyton's brought this year off the bounce. So we're missing them, but what we have is enough. And whoever plays, wears the jersey tomorrow is going to play really well.
Did you talk to Jamal at all? Do you feel like he enjoyed his first All-Star experience?
Yeah, I think he did. He said it was a really cool experience. And again, I think it's more the social part of it, being around all those guys. A group of people that he should have been around before, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure he went to Vegas after, so he had a good trip. Good?
Thanks.
A little bit. I mean, on the news, yeah.
You've gone through a lot of All-Star breaks before. Do you have any specific habits that you get into when you find an All-Star break coming around?
Relax. I mean, during the All-Star break, it's a time to get your body right, relax, clear your mental state, just maybe a little bit forget about basketball, come back with a new energy, new hunger for basketball.
Coach Adelman, he said something earlier about when you finally take that step back from with the All-Star break, you realize how unhealthy it is and just maintaining the level of schedule and just continuing to that. Do you kind of get that sense sometimes, and like when you're going through the grind of the season?
Yes, I agree with the coach, but again, that's our job. No matter what, we got to do it. Yeah, it's a lot of injuries, this and that. Probably it's not healthy, but we got to do it. We get paid big bucks to do that. We should not complain and just man up and do it. There's no other way, right? We're not gonna change the schedule, so gotta come in and do it. That's it. Simple as a talent. Probably that simple to do.
Obviously, injuries have played a part, but where do you feel like you guys have the most room to improve, just as far as little areas defensively in the last stretch before the playoffs?
I think being more physical, just defending with more physicality, more contact. Just being a physical initiators. Just being the most physical team on the court.
Jonas, how much different do things get during this final stretch before the playoffs? How much tighter, intense, all of that?
Oh, it's the last push before the playoffs. It's going to determine a lot of, standings, a lot of positions. It's pretty tight in the West. All these, from first to 7 seed is pretty tight. 8 seed, it's pretty tight. It's 2 or 3 games difference, so it's going to be intense.
You mentioned resetting mentally over the break. How did you do that?
Just not doing anything, just relaxing, focusing on something else, like family, kids, spending time with them, relaxing. That's a mental level thing.
You mentioned a renewed hunger. What do you think the identity of this team for the last 27 games?
I've been physical guy all the time. For me, it's physicality. So I think that we're capable and we'll do it. Being the most physical team on the court.
How do you do that? I know that might sound like a silly question, but how do you bring out physicality in your teammates?
I mean, look in the mirror, bring your heart, bring your muscles, and bring your balls.
With what you guys have been able to accomplish so far, just the success you've had despite the injuries, what do you think that just says about the overall depth of this group?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
With the success you guys have been able to have, what do you think it just says about the depth that this team has?
Well, we've been really successful offensively. Now we gotta turn that and be more successful defensively. We're capable. As I said earlier, that's our focus, and it's on us to do it.
this may sound insane, but without playing basketball for a week, did you get to do any special beard care?
Sorry, I can't. These guys are playing like terrible.
You didn't play a game for a week, so you didn't get that sweaty. Did you get to take care of the beard any special way over the break?
Beard or beer? Which one? Probably having a beer. Can't take care of the beard.
Thanks, guys. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been in this league long enough to know what the All-Star break kind of means for guys, means for teams. Just when you think about what this team has gone through, especially from an injury perspective, what do you think the team can really benefit from getting to go?
Just a little bit of a reset. Guys have been banged up. A lot of guys have been banged up across the board. Some guys have been out. Some guys have been playing through some things. It's just some time to rest, recover, and then mentally refocus. We've got 27 games left, and we got to attack it as a kind of its own season.
What do you think this team needs to figure out in that final 27 games?
I think a lot of it is just continue to sharpen up what we've been working on all year. You know, I think when you get down to the weeds of that, it's about finishing games well, and then on the defensive end, competing and showing what we can do there. Which I think we've shown that we can be a good team. I think as we start to get guys back and get that rhythm, we can elevate that type of ball and carry us in the playoffs. That'll bode well for us.
And any chance you had any familiarity with the career of Doug Moe? Obviously, important figure for Denver sports.
Not as much. I mean, you see his name up in the rafters and all that he's accomplished. I mean, we talk about these people, they're kind of like the pioneers of our game, people that really pushed the envelope and allowed us to have what we have and the type of league that we have now. So definitely a very important figure, and just for us, it's looking back with gratitude.
Cam, how much tighter does everything get during this final little bit more than a quarter of the season? Push for the playoffs?
It has to, especially because for us, we have a lot of really good teams on the schedule coming up, so we'll be challenged night in and night out, and we know what the ultimate goal here is, and we have guys that have accomplished that goal and know what it takes. So just kind of taking all those steps necessary.
Can you reflect on the first 55 games for you? Obviously, it was a little stop and start with the injury, but where did you start? When you think about the first two of the season for you?
It's in the past. Lessons have been learned from them. Learning how to play with this group and where to be effective, and really help the team. And then just continuing to stick with it and like I said, it's almost like a refresh on the season for a lot of us, for us as a team, and for me personally.
Was there one lesson that stood above the rest?
In terms of learning how to play with this team, or it's just the flow, offensive flow, where shots come from, defensive flow. You go team to team, it's different, but there's no other Jokic's and the Jokic-Jamal combo. It's just learning, where I can be to help the team.
I know you missed a big chunk of time, but at any point in the season, do you feel like you're confident that this team can potentially do things for them?
No.
The belief has been the same with this team.
Every time. And yeah, we do some silly stuff from time to time, and maybe drop a game that we shouldn't have. But we all understand how capable this team really is. There's already a winning DNA here. There's already that championship mentality. We have a roster of the other 4 stars. We have number 15 and what he brings to the table. And I just think we have a lot of talent. We have a lot of talent and a lot of basketball IQ. And as it continues to evolve, I think there's so many levels for us to reach. It's not like we've maxed out our team. I think there's a lot of things on the table.
Taylor, you been watching much of the Olympics?
A little bit.
What's your favorite sport? You a big skeleton or luge guy?
It's entertaining. I was watching the pair figure skating a couple days ago. That stuff is impressive.
If you had to pick a teammate to do pairs figure skating with, who would it be?
I'm not doing pair figure skating with any of my teammates. That's all I'm saying. I don't think they have that kind of core.
You guys have been missing a lot of guys that really excel on the defensive end. When a team is missing a lot of those kind of guys, how much pressure does it put on everybody else to just be really precise?
Yeah, you're right. It does. It does put a lot of pressure. You look at a guy like Peyton and how he's able to make really high-level defensive plays, strike to the rim, and things like that. AG2, this is a college underneath. He misses those guys. Everybody else, like you said, kind of just has to be a little bit sharper in rotation, sharper in game plan discipline. Like I said, we've had moments where we have not done what we should have done, but like they're all learning experiences.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.